The biggest threat to Bitcoin, I think, is again, Bitcoin can only die if we all stop believing in it, because that's the only reason why the dollar has value or gold has value, is the aggregate shared belief in it. And so to kill Bitcoin, I think would require a pretty sustained amount of like government pressure. I think Bitcoin is still somewhat fragile at this moment when it comes to its ability to resist government pressure. So for example, like if all the US exchanges got shut down, Bitcoin's not going to die, but the growth curve looked like this, and now it's going to look like this. And so it just might take a lot longer for Bitcoin to win. So I would say that's its biggest threat. I don't think it could kill it. That's its biggest threat. I don't really see much competition from alts. A lot of people also have they kind of confuse central bank digital currencies with cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin isn't just a digital currency. It's a gold 2.0, and it has gold 2.0 characteristics due to elements like scarcity, which you don't have in a traditional fiat bank sort of way, where in the central banking system, we trust that they won't print more, but there's no guarantees of that trust. Whereas in Bitcoin, we don't have to trust Bitcoin. We have guarantees that there will only be 21 million. So those are very distinct differences. So I think, the only way that Bitcoin, to kind of wrap up, the only way that Bitcoin can die is if a government continually and unanimously across the world, which, the governments across the world haven't come together to solve climate change. So I highly doubt they're going to come together to stop Bitcoin, especially when the incentive for there to be confederate nations and nations that break away from the majority group to buy Bitcoin ahead of everyone else, that temptation is too irresistible. And so from a game theory perspective, it's very unlikely. But let's say if all the governments across the world came together to ban it, it certainly wouldn't be good for Bitcoin. It would very much damage its long-term growth. But I'd say by the next cycle, at the peak of the next cycle, when Bitcoin hits a 2 to 10 trillion market cap, all bets are off in there, because then you're going to have different governments buy it as a central bank, like the central bank will buy it itself. And by that point, it'll be too resilient to where governments can damage it, but it still won't alter the growth trajectory as much as they could now. But that's what's kind of funny about Bitcoin, is when it's small, no one cares. As it grows bigger and becomes more of a threat, then governments finally respond to it. But by that point, it's too late. If 30% of your population owns Bitcoin, if you ban it, then you're not going to be elected.